In a bustling city where skyscrapers kissed the clouds, there lived a wealthy businessman named Daniel. He had built his fortune from the ground up, but amidst his success, he often found himself reminiscing about his childhood. One name echoed in his mind: Mark, his best friend from school. They had shared countless adventures, dreams, and laughter in their youth, but as life took them on different paths, they had lost touch. One afternoon, feeling nostalgic, Daniel decided to reach out to Mark. He remembered their carefree days, running through the streets, dreaming of the future. Mark had always been the more grounded one, his heart full of kindness and loyalty. Daniel wondered if their bond could withstand the test of time. To his surprise, Mark was thrilled to hear from him. They arranged to meet at a quaint cafe that held memories of their youth. As they sat across from each other, laughter and stories flowed easily. Daniel noticed the same spark in Mark's eyes, and he felt a rush of warmth that only true friendship could provide. As the conversation deepened, Daniel contemplated a plan to test Mark's character. He wanted to know if his old friend would still be the same generous, selfless person he remembered. With this in mind, he crafted a story, a tale of misfortune and desperation. He explained how he had encountered financial difficulties with one of his investments and needed a loan to cover some expenses. Mark's expression shifted from surprise to concern. "How much do you need?" he asked, without a moment's hesitation. Daniel, feigning reluctance, mentioned a significant sum, enough to raise eyebrows. Mark listened intently, his brow furrowed, and after a brief pause, he nodded firmly. "Don't worry about it, Daniel. I'll lend you the money. We've been friends too long for me to see you struggle. Just promise me you'll pay me back when you can," Mark said, his voice steady. Daniel felt a surge of emotions as he looked into his friend's earnest eyes. Here was the same Mark he had known as a child, full of unwavering loyalty and kindness. They arranged the details, and within days, Mark transferred the money to Daniel's account without any formalities or demands. Weeks passed, and Daniel decided it was time to reveal his true identity. He invited Mark to his office, the sleek, modern space that showcased his success. As they entered, Mark's eyes widened in amazement. "I had no idea you'd done so well for yourself," he exclaimed, genuine admiration in his voice. Daniel smiled, feeling a mix of pride and gratitude. "Actually, there's something I need to tell you. The financial trouble I mentioned, it was a test. I wanted to see if you were still the same person I remembered, and you absolutely are." Mark looked confused for a moment but then laughed lightly. "You had me worried there for a second. But I meant every word. Friends help each other out, no questions asked." "Exactly," Daniel replied, his tone serious now. "And because of your loyalty and kindness, I want to offer you a position in my company. I could use someone with your values and work ethic. You'd fit right in." Mark's eyes widened in disbelief. "Me? In your company? I don't know, Daniel. I've never worked in a corporate environment before. Trust me, you'll do great. You have a knack for understanding people, and that's what I need. We could build something incredible together," Daniel encouraged, sensing the doubt lingering in Mark's heart. After some contemplation, Mark accepted the offer. The transition was seamless. He brought fresh perspectives and a level of compassion that resonated throughout the office. Employees felt valued and appreciated, fostering a positive culture that reflected Mark's innate goodness. As time went on, the company flourished, and Daniel found himself grateful not only for Mark's contributions but also for the rekindling of their friendship. They became an unstoppable duo, balancing each other's strengths and weaknesses, all while reminiscing about their shared past. One evening, after a successful business meeting, they sat in Daniel's office overlooking the city. "You know, I never expected my life to take this turn," Mark said, reflecting on their journey. "I'm grateful for your faith in me. This opportunity has changed everything." Daniel nodded, feeling a warmth in his heart. "And I'm grateful for you, Mark. You remind me of what truly matters: integrity, kindness, and friendship. I wouldn't want anyone else by my side." As they gazed out at the shimmering city lights, Daniel realized that their bond had grown stronger than ever. The trials and triumphs they faced together only deepened their connection. In the heart of the bustling city, amidst the chaos of business and success, they had rediscovered the true meaning of friendship. Years later, as they celebrated the company's success with a grand party, Daniel stood up to address their colleagues. "I want to take a moment to recognize someone very special to me, my friend Mark. Not only has he transformed this company, but he's also reminded me of the values that truly matter. Together, we've built something incredible, and I couldn't have done it without you." The crowd erupted in applause, and Mark's face flushed with modesty. He had come so far from his humble beginnings, and yet, he remained the same genuine person at his core. In that moment, he realized that true wealth lay not in money or status but in the relationships we build and the lives we touch. As the night wore on, Daniel and Mark shared stories, laughter, and dreams for the future. They understood that no matter where life took them, their friendship would remain a constant source of strength and inspiration. In the end, they proved that the bonds of friendship could withstand the tests of time and circumstance, growing richer and deeper with each shared experience. With hearts full of gratitude and hope, they continued to navigate the journey of life together, knowing that they would always have each other's backs, just like they did in their youth. As the celebration continued, Daniel and Mark found themselves surrounded by friends, colleagues, and supporters. The atmosphere was electric, filled with laughter and joy, a testament to the incredible journey they had embarked on together. With glasses raised high, they made toasts, sharing anecdotes from their past and dreams for the future. Amidst the revelry, Daniel took a moment to reflect on how far they had come. He recalled the days of hardship and uncertainty, both in his own life and in Mark's. The sacrifices they had made, the risks they had taken, and the unwavering support they had offered each other were all part of a story that had shaped them into who they were today. As the clock struck midnight, signaling the end of the celebration, the guests began to disperse. Daniel and Mark lingered behind, enjoying the quiet that enveloped the now empty room. They shared a moment of camaraderie, each feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "Can you believe it?" Mark said, leaning back in his chair, a contented smile on his face. "From those carefree days of our childhood to this, it's incredible." Daniel nodded, a thoughtful expression crossing his face. "It really is. And to think, it all started with a simple act of kindness. I wanted to see if you were still the same person I remembered, and you never let me down." Mark chuckled softly, his gaze drifting to the city skyline outside the window. "I'll always be that same guy at heart. The world may change around us, but the values we hold dear, those stay the same." Feeling inspired, Daniel suggested, "Why don't we give back to the community that helped shape us? We could start a foundation to support young entrepreneurs, just like we once dreamed of being." Mark's eyes lit up at the idea. "That sounds perfect. We can create mentorship programs, offer scholarships, and provide resources to those who need it most. It's a way to pay forward the kindness we've received." They spent the following weeks brainstorming ideas, reaching out to potential partners, and laying the groundwork for what would become a cornerstone of their legacy. The foundation blossomed into a beacon of hope, helping aspiring entrepreneurs gain the skills and support they needed to succeed. As the foundation gained momentum, Daniel and Mark found themselves speaking at schools and community centers, sharing their stories and inspiring the next generation. They encouraged young people to pursue their passions, reminding them that with hard work and determination, anything was possible. Months turned into years, and the foundation grew to support thousands of young entrepreneurs, fostering a spirit of innovation and creativity. Daniel often marveled at how their lives had come full circle. What had started as a test of friendship had blossomed into a partnership dedicated to making a difference. One day, during a community event, Daniel and Mark stood on stage, addressing a crowd of eager faces. "Remember, success isn't just measured by how much money you make, but by the impact you have on others," Daniel said, his voice resonating with passion. Mark added, "We believe that everyone deserves a chance to follow their dreams. And if we can help just one person realize their potential, then we've succeeded." The crowd erupted in applause, and the energy was infectious. Afterward, as they mingled with attendees, Daniel noticed a young girl approaching them. She was shy, her hands fidgeting with the hem of her shirt. "Excuse me," she said softly, "I wanted to thank you for what you do. I started my own business because of your program. It means a lot to me." Daniel felt a lump in his throat as he watched her eyes light up with pride. "That's incredible. What kind of business do you have?" he asked, genuinely interested. "I make handmade jewelry," she replied, her confidence growing. "I've learned so much, and I'm so grateful for the support." Mark smiled warmly, kneeling to her level. "Keep pursuing your passion. You have a bright future ahead of you." As the evening continued, Daniel and Mark were reminded of the true purpose behind their efforts. They had created not just a foundation, but a movement that inspired hope and possibility. Years later, they held a gala to celebrate the impact of their foundation, honoring success stories and recognizing the hard work of countless individuals. The room was filled with laughter, tears, and heartfelt speeches from those whose lives had been transformed. As the night drew to a close, Daniel stood at the podium once again, this time filled with a sense of pride that transcended their earlier achievements. "This foundation is not just about us. It's about the connections we've made, the lives we've touched, and the dreams we've helped realize. Each of you here is a testament to what can happen when kindness meets opportunity." Mark joined him, and together they raised their glasses in a toast. To friendship, to dreams, and to the future. May we continue to inspire one another and lift each other up. The crowd cheered, a unified force of determination and gratitude. As the lights dimmed and the music swelled, Daniel and Mark exchanged a knowing glance. They understood that their journey was far from over. It was a continuous adventure filled with possibilities and the promise of making a difference. Hand in hand, they stepped into the future, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that together they could overcome anything. The bond of their friendship had not only withstood the test of time but had blossomed into a force for good in the world, proving that the essence of true friendship lies in supporting and uplifting one another. As the gala came to a close, Daniel and Mark found themselves standing on the balcony of the event space, overlooking the city lights that twinkled like stars scattered across the ground. The cool night air wrapped around them, and they breathed in the moment, feeling the weight of all they had accomplished. "Can you believe how far we've come?" Daniel said, a smile playing on his lips. "It feels like just yesterday we were two kids dreaming about the future." Mark leaned against the railing, his eyes scanning the horizon. "I often think about those days. We had no idea what life would throw at us, but I'm grateful for every twist and turn. It brought us here." They shared a comfortable silence, each lost in thought. The hustle and bustle of the gala faded into the background, leaving just the two of them in their shared reminiscence. "I was thinking," Daniel said, breaking the quiet, "about expanding our foundation's reach. There are so many more communities that could benefit from what we've created. We could partner with schools in underserved areas and offer workshops to teach entrepreneurship." Mark nodded vigorously. "That's a brilliant idea. We could even host summer camps where kids can learn about business concepts through fun activities. It would ignite their creativity and give them hands-on experience." Inspired, they began to brainstorm ideas right there on the balcony, jotting down notes on their phones. The excitement of new possibilities sparked their imaginations, and before long, they were lost in a flurry of ideas, mapping out a plan for the future. The next few months were a whirlwind of activity as they put their plans into action. They organized outreach programs, collaborating with schools and community centers to introduce young people to the world of entrepreneurship. Workshops flourished, filled with eager minds ready to absorb knowledge and skills. One particular summer camp became a highlight of their initiative. It was a week-long program filled with interactive sessions led by local business owners who volunteered their time to inspire the youth. From creating business plans to learning about marketing and finance, the camp became a haven for young dreamers. On the final day of camp, Daniel and Mark stood in front of the attendees, each child bursting with excitement. They had worked hard, presenting their ideas for potential businesses, and now it was time to celebrate their achievements. "Today is not just about completing the camp," Mark said, his voice warm and encouraging. It's about recognizing your dreams and the potential you each have within you. No matter where you come from, you can make a difference. As the children presented their ideas, Daniel and Mark watched with pride. The creativity and enthusiasm radiating from the young entrepreneurs reminded them of their own dreams from years ago. At the end of the presentations, they announced that the top 3 ideas would receive funding and mentorship to help them launch their businesses. When the winners were announced, cheers erupted, and the room buzzed with excitement. Daniel and Mark moved among the children, congratulating them and offering words of encouragement. In that moment, they saw their vision come to life, real change happening right in front of them. As they packed up after the event, Mark turned to Daniel, his eyes glistening. "This is what it's all about, isn't it? Helping these kids believe in themselves. It feels so rewarding." Daniel nodded, feeling a profound sense of fulfillment. "Absolutely. This is just the beginning. We have the power to create a ripple effect. Imagine how many lives we can touch." Their initiative continued to grow, spreading to other cities, and soon they were recognized for their impactful work. But amid the accolades and success, Daniel and Mark remained grounded, always returning to their roots and the friendship that had ignited their journey. Years passed, and one day, as they sat in Daniel's office, reminiscing about the early days, a thought struck Mark. What if we created an annual event to celebrate the achievements of our young entrepreneurs? A platform for them to showcase their businesses and connect with potential investors. Daniel's face lit up at the idea. Yes. We could call it the Young Innovators Summit. It would provide exposure and opportunities for everyone involved. With enthusiasm, they began planning the summit. They secured sponsorships, invited influential speakers, and organized workshops to help the young entrepreneurs prepare for their presentations. The event was designed to inspire, educate, and elevate the next generation of innovators. When the day of the summit arrived, the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. The venue was filled with eager participants, supporters, and community members. Mark and Daniel welcomed everyone, their hearts swelling with pride as they introduced the young entrepreneurs who would take the stage. As the summit unfolded, they watched in awe as the young innovators confidently presented their ideas, showcasing their passion and creativity. The audience responded with encouragement, and the atmosphere was electric with hope and inspiration. At the end of the day, they announced the winners of various categories, providing not just recognition but also resources to help their businesses thrive. Tears of joy and gratitude filled the room as the young entrepreneurs celebrated their accomplishments. As the night drew to a close, Daniel and Mark took a moment to reflect on the impact of the summit. "I can't believe how far we've come since those early days," Daniel said, his voice filled with emotion. "This feels like a dream." Mark nodded, his eyes shining with determination. "And it's only the beginning. We have a responsibility to keep this momentum going, to ensure that every child has the opportunity to pursue their dreams." With renewed purpose, they committed to expanding their foundation's initiatives even further. They envisioned mentorship programs that could reach across borders, connecting young minds globally and fostering collaboration and innovation. As they continued to grow and evolve, Daniel and Mark realized that the essence of their journey was rooted in friendship, kindness, and the unwavering belief that every individual has the potential to change the world. Together, they would keep nurturing that belief, inspiring generations to come, and proving that the bonds formed in youth could indeed shape the future in profound and meaningful ways. Hand in hand, they embraced the journey ahead, knowing that their friendship, and the legacy they were building, would last a lifetime. As Daniel and Mark moved forward with their vision for the foundation, they began to see not just their own dreams take flight but also the dreams of countless others. The annual Young Innovators Summit quickly became a highlight in the community, drawing attention from media outlets and influential figures who wanted to support their mission. With each passing year, the summit grew in scale and scope. They added new features, like workshops on financial literacy, networking events, and even a pitch competition where young entrepreneurs could win grants to kickstart their businesses. The energy in the room during these events was palpable, and it reminded Daniel and Mark of their own youthful aspirations. One particular year, they invited a renowned entrepreneur, Sarah Thompson, as a keynote speaker. Sarah had built a multi-million-dollar tech company from the ground up, and her story of resilience and innovation resonated deeply with the young audience. When she took the stage, the room fell silent in anticipation. "Believe in yourselves," Sarah began, her voice strong and clear. "Every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth. Don't let fear hold you back. The world needs your ideas, your passion, and your courage." As she spoke, Daniel and Mark exchanged glances, each feeling a surge of pride in what they had created. After her talk, the attendees had the chance to ask questions, and it was thrilling to witness their enthusiasm as they engaged with Sarah. They were hungry for knowledge and inspiration, and Daniel and Mark realized that they had successfully built a community of dreamers and doers. After the summit, they received messages from attendees thanking them for the opportunity. One particularly heartfelt note came from a young girl named Mia, who had presented her concept for a sustainable fashion line. In her message, she wrote about how inspired she felt and how she planned to implement the feedback she received during the summit. "Can you believe it?" Mark said, reading the note aloud to Daniel. "We're making a real impact." "Yes, we are," Daniel replied, smiling. "And we need to keep going. I want to expand our outreach even more. Let's create an online platform where young entrepreneurs from around the world can connect, share ideas, and collaborate." Mark's eyes lit up. "That's a brilliant idea. We can develop resources, video tutorials, and even host virtual pitch competitions. This way, we can reach those who may not be able to attend our events in person." With renewed energy, they dove into planning the online platform. They worked tirelessly, consulting tech experts and educators to ensure it would be a comprehensive resource for aspiring entrepreneurs. Soon, the website was live, and they began promoting it through their network. As the platform gained traction, Daniel and Mark hosted their first virtual pitch competition. Participants from across the globe submitted their business ideas, and the response was overwhelming. They were amazed by the diversity of concepts, from tech innovations to eco-friendly products. The day of the competition arrived, and Daniel and Mark sat side by side, eagerly awaiting the presentations. As each contestant took their turn, they felt the same thrill they had experienced at the first summit. The creativity, passion, and resilience displayed were truly inspiring. After the final pitch, Daniel and Mark had a difficult decision to make. They conferred with their team and ultimately awarded multiple grants to several participants, believing that each idea had the potential to make a difference. In the weeks that followed, their inboxes flooded with messages from contestants expressing their gratitude. Many shared stories of how the competition had encouraged them to pursue their dreams with renewed vigor. One evening, as they reviewed the impact of their initiatives, Mark turned to Daniel. "You know, it's not just about funding these ideas. It's about the community we're building. We're creating a network of support that these young entrepreneurs can rely on." Daniel nodded, feeling a sense of fulfillment wash over him. "Absolutely. We're providing a safety net, a place where they can find encouragement and collaboration. That's what will ultimately drive their success." As they continued to develop the online platform and their outreach programs, Daniel and Mark began exploring the idea of mentorship. They knew that while resources were important, having someone to guide you through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship could make a world of difference. They reached out to seasoned entrepreneurs and business leaders, inviting them to become mentors for the young innovators in their community. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Many were eager to share their experiences and knowledge, wanting to give back to the next generation. The mentorship program launched with great enthusiasm, pairing young entrepreneurs with mentors who shared their passions. Daniel and Mark watched as relationships blossomed, with mentors offering guidance and encouragement while ments brought fresh ideas and perspectives to the table. As the foundation expanded, they received recognition from various organizations for their impactful work. Daniel and Mark were invited to speak at conferences and participate in panel discussions, sharing their journey and the lessons they had learned along the way. One night, after a particularly successful conference, they found themselves walking through the city streets, reflecting on their experiences. It's amazing how far we've come, Daniel said, looking up at the stars. Sometimes I still can't believe it. Mark smiled, his heart full. I feel the same way. But you know, it all comes back to our friendship. If we hadn't supported each other, we might never have reached this point. Daniel nodded, appreciating the depth of their connection. You're right. And I think our journey is a reminder that we can achieve so much more when we work together. As they continued to forge ahead, they set their sights on even greater aspirations. They envisioned a world where every child, no matter their background, could access the resources and support needed to pursue their dreams. They dreamed of a global community of young innovators who could learn from each other, collaborate, and inspire one another. Years later, during a quiet moment at the Foundation's headquarters, Daniel turned to Mark with a thoughtful expression. Do you ever think about what we'll leave behind? Mark contemplated for a moment. I do. I hope that our legacy is one of kindness, empowerment, and friendship. I want future generations to know that with support and perseverance, they can change the world. Daniel smiled, touched by his friend's words. And that they're never alone on their journey. With that shared understanding, they looked toward the future, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They knew that together, with their unwavering friendship and commitment to making a difference, they could continue to inspire countless lives and create a lasting impact. In the end, their story was not just about personal success but about the power of connection and the ripple effect of kindness. As they stepped into the next chapter of their journey, they carried with them the spirit of their childhood dreams, forever grateful for the bond that had guided them through it all. As the years rolled on, Daniel and Mark's foundation became a cornerstone of entrepreneurial support, attracting attention from not just local communities but also international organizations. They expanded their programs to include global workshops, bringing together young innovators from various countries to share their ideas and collaborate on projects that tackled pressing global issues, such as climate change and social inequality. One day, as they were preparing for an upcoming international summit, Daniel received a call from a prominent business leader in Europe. We've been following your work closely, and we're impressed, she said. We'd love to partner with you for a global innovation challenge. It could elevate the exposure for all the young entrepreneurs involved. Excitement surged through Daniel as he shared the news with Mark. This could be huge. Imagine the impact we could have by connecting with innovators from around the world. Mark's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. Absolutely. We can create a platform for cultural exchange and knowledge sharing. Let's get to work. In the months that followed, they poured their energy into planning the global challenge. They set up an online platform where participants could submit their ideas and receive feedback from industry experts. They also arranged for virtual panels and discussions, allowing innovators to learn from one another and broaden their perspectives. When the day of the challenge arrived, Daniel and Mark watched as participants from diverse backgrounds presented their projects, each infused with unique cultural insights and innovative approaches. The energy in the virtual room was electrifying. Ideas sparked and flourished as innovators exchanged thoughts and suggestions. During one session, a young entrepreneur from Kenya shared a project focused on sustainable farming techniques that could help combat food insecurity. Inspired by her passion, several other participants joined forces to develop the concept further, illustrating the power of collaboration. As the challenge progressed, it became clear that the global network they had envisioned was blossoming right before their eyes. Young people were not only presenting their ideas but also forming friendships and partnerships that transcended borders. After weeks of intense competition, the winners were announced during a live-streamed event. The excitement was palpable as Daniel and Mark cheered for the innovative projects that would receive funding and mentorship. But more importantly, they were proud of the connections made and the knowledge shared among the participants. With the global challenge behind them, Daniel and Mark turned their attention to the next phase: how to sustain the momentum they had built. They envisioned a series of regional innovation hubs, places where young entrepreneurs could come together to work on their ideas, access resources, and find support. This could revolutionize how we support young entrepreneurs, Mark said, brainstorming the logistics. If we set up hubs in different regions, we can tailor our programs to meet the specific needs of those communities. They set out to secure funding and partnerships to establish these hubs. Over the next year, they launched several innovation centers in key cities, each equipped with mentorship programs, workshops, and resources tailored to the local entrepreneurs' needs. During the grand opening of one such hub in a vibrant urban area, Daniel stood in front of a crowd filled with eager faces. "Today, we're not just opening a building, we're opening doors to new possibilities," he said, his voice ringing with excitement. "This is a place where ideas can flourish, where dreams can take shape, and where you can find the support you need to succeed." Mark added, "Remember, every great journey starts with a single step. We're here to walk alongside you as you navigate your path." The hub quickly became a hub of activity, buzzing with creativity and collaboration. Young entrepreneurs gathered to share their ideas, attend workshops, and seek guidance from mentors. The sense of community was palpable, a testament to the spirit of connection that Daniel and Mark had worked so hard to cultivate. Months later, during a casual meeting at one of the hubs, Daniel and Mark reviewed the impact of their programs. They were thrilled to see young entrepreneurs thriving, launching businesses, and giving back to their communities. Mark leaned back in his chair, reflecting. "It's incredible to think about how one idea can ripple outwards and create so much change. I feel like we've built a legacy." Daniel nodded, his heart swelling with pride. "And it's all thanks to the friendships and connections we've fostered. We're not just helping individuals, we're nurturing a community." As they continued their work, they decided to start an annual celebration to honor the success stories that emerged from their hubs. They envisioned a night filled with storytelling, where entrepreneurs could share their journeys, challenges, and triumphs. The first celebration was a resounding success, with attendees from all walks of life coming together to celebrate the spirit of entrepreneurship. The room echoed with laughter, applause, and heartfelt speeches as young innovators took the stage, inspiring one another with tales of resilience and determination. One standout story came from a young man named Alex, who had launched a tech startup focused on developing accessible educational tools for underprivileged communities. As he shared his journey, Daniel felt a surge of emotion, recognizing the impact of their collective efforts. When the celebration concluded, Daniel and Mark reflected on the power of storytelling. "These stories remind us why we do what we do," Mark said, his voice filled with warmth. "They show the human side of entrepreneurship, the struggles, the triumphs, and the connections." "Yes," Daniel agreed. "And it's a reminder that our work is never done. There are still so many more stories to uncover, so many more lives to touch." Fueled by their passion and commitment, they set out to deepen their impact further. They began to explore international partnerships, collaborating with organizations in different countries to share knowledge and resources, ultimately creating a global network of young entrepreneurs. As their work continued to expand, they made a point to return to their roots. They visited schools and community centers, sharing their journey with young students, reminding them that dreams are attainable with hard work and the right support. Years later, as they sat on a bench overlooking the city skyline, they reflected on their journey once again. "It's remarkable how far we've come," Daniel said, gazing at the horizon. "But I think what I cherish the most are the friendships we've built along the way." Mark smiled, his eyes twinkling. "Absolutely. It's the connections that make all the difference. Together, we've created something beautiful." In that moment, they understood that their friendship was not just a foundation for their success but a source of inspiration for everyone they encountered. Their bond had transformed into a powerful force for good, propelling them forward and reminding them of the importance of kindness, support, and collaboration. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in vibrant hues, Daniel and Mark knew they were just getting started. The world was full of possibilities, and together, they would continue to inspire the next generation of dreamers and doers, ensuring that the legacy of their friendship and their mission lived on for years to come. As the years unfolded, Daniel and Mark's commitment to nurturing young talent became even more profound. They developed a series of initiatives designed to empower young entrepreneurs, including scholarships for higher education, mentorship programs tailored for specific industries, and partnerships with universities to provide internships for aspiring innovators. One day, while reviewing applications for their scholarship program, Daniel stumbled upon a submission that caught his eye. It was from a girl named Lila, who had an extraordinary story. Despite facing numerous challenges, including financial hardship and the loss of her father, Lila had turned her passion for coding into a remarkable project aimed at developing educational software for children with learning disabilities. "This girl is incredible," Daniel remarked, turning the application around for Mark to see. "Her resilience and creativity are just inspiring. We need to meet her." Mark agreed wholeheartedly, and they arranged to invite Lila to one of their hubs for an interview. When she arrived, Daniel and Mark were immediately struck by her enthusiasm and determination. She spoke passionately about her vision and the difference she hoped to make in the lives of children who struggled in traditional learning environments. "We can't wait to help you," Mark said after hearing her story. "Your project aligns perfectly with our mission." They offered Lila the scholarship and a place in their mentorship program, pairing her with an experienced developer who could guide her in bringing her vision to life. Over the next several months, Lila thrived under their support, attending workshops and refining her project with her mentor's guidance. One evening, Daniel and Mark attended a presentation where Lila was set to showcase her software. The atmosphere was charged with excitement as the young innovators prepared to present their ideas. When it was her turn, Lila stepped onto the stage, her heart racing. With confidence, she explained her project and demonstrated how the software worked. The audience was captivated, and when she finished, a wave of applause erupted. Daniel and Mark exchanged proud glances, knowing they had played a part in her journey. After the presentation, they were approached by several educators and investors who expressed interest in her project. Daniel and Mark helped Lila navigate the conversations, facilitating connections that would prove invaluable for her work. In the following months, Lila secured funding to further develop her software and began implementing it in local schools. The impact was immediate. Teachers reported significant improvements in student engagement and understanding. Lila's success story became a beacon of hope, inspiring other young entrepreneurs in the community. Recognizing the need for ongoing support, Daniel and Mark decided to launch a series of success stories events, where young entrepreneurs like Lila could share their journeys, challenges, and triumphs with others. These gatherings fostered a sense of community, encouraging collaboration and mutual support among the participants. At one of these events, Lila took the stage once more, this time as a successful entrepreneur. "When I first joined this program, I had a dream but no clear path," she began, her voice strong and passionate. "Thanks to the support of Daniel, Mark, and the entire community, I not only found that path but also discovered the power of my voice. Together, we can make a difference." As she shared her story, the audience was moved. Young innovators approached her after the event, eager to learn from her experience and seek guidance. It was a beautiful sight for Daniel and Mark, witnessing the cycle of mentorship and inspiration continue to flourish. Encouraged by the success of their initiatives, Daniel and Mark began to explore the idea of establishing a global fellowship program. They envisioned a year-long immersive experience for selected young entrepreneurs, providing them with hands-on training, mentorship, and opportunities to pitch their ideas to potential investors. "Imagine the impact we could have by bringing together young innovators from different backgrounds and equipping them with the skills they need," Mark said during a brainstorming session. "We can create a network that transcends borders." Daniel nodded, excited by the prospect. "We should also incorporate cultural exchange. They could learn from each other's experiences and challenges, fostering a deeper understanding of global issues." With a shared vision, they reached out to potential partners and sponsors to bring their fellowship program to life. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and soon they were preparing to launch their first cohort. On the day of the fellowship selection, Daniel and Mark welcomed a diverse group of applicants who had traveled from various parts of the world. The energy in the room was electric, filled with dreams and aspirations. "Today, you all have the chance to embark on an incredible journey," Daniel addressed the group. "We're here to support you as you turn your ideas into reality. Remember, this is not just about you, it's about the impact you can have on your communities and beyond." After a rigorous selection process, they announced the chosen fellows, each one bursting with talent and potential. Daniel and Mark stood back, observing the excitement and joy radiating from the selected participants, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. As the fellowship unfolded, the young innovators engaged in workshops, networking events, and mentorship sessions that challenged and inspired them. They collaborated on projects that addressed local and global challenges, finding innovative solutions together. At the end of the fellowship, they organized a pitch day where each participant presented their projects to a panel of investors and industry leaders. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation, and Daniel and Mark felt their hearts race as the first fellow stepped up to present. Each pitch was met with applause and questions, showcasing the growth and transformation of the participants over the course of the program. When the final pitch concluded, the panel deliberated, and the fellows stood together, anxiously awaiting the results. In a thrilling moment, the panel announced that multiple projects would receive funding, allowing the young innovators to take their ideas to the next level. The room erupted in celebration, with hugs and cheers filling the air. As the event wrapped up, Daniel and Mark felt a profound sense of pride. They had created an ecosystem that not only supported individual dreams but also fostered a sense of community among young entrepreneurs. In the following months, the impact of the fellowship continued to grow. Stories of success emerged as the fellows launched their projects, and many began giving back by mentoring the next generation of innovators, creating a continuous cycle of support and empowerment. One evening, as Daniel and Mark reflected on the journey they had undertaken, Mark spoke up. "It's incredible how a simple idea can blossom into something so impactful. I'm proud of what we've built together." Daniel smiled, feeling grateful. "And it all started with our friendship and the belief that we could make a difference. It's a reminder that we all have the power to create change, no matter how small the action." They knew that the journey was far from over. There were still challenges to face and lives to touch, and they were committed to continuing their work. With a renewed sense of purpose, they set their sights on expanding their global reach, always seeking new ways to uplift young innovators and foster creativity. As they moved forward, they remained grounded in their values, kindness, community, and the unwavering belief that everyone deserves a chance to pursue their dreams. Their friendship continued to be a guiding light, reminding them that together, they could create a legacy that would last for generations to come. And so, with hearts full of hope and determination, Daniel and Mark stepped boldly into the future, ready to inspire the next wave of dreamers and doers, proving that through collaboration and support, anything is possible. As Daniel and Mark continued their mission to empower young entrepreneurs, they began exploring innovative ways to expand their reach even further. They realized that in addition to their in-person programs, they could leverage technology to create online resources that would benefit aspiring innovators across the globe. Inspired by this idea, they launched a digital platform called Global Innovators Hub, which served as an online community for entrepreneurs. The platform featured a wealth of resources, including video tutorials, webinars with industry experts, and forums for networking and collaboration. It quickly attracted attention, with thousands of users signing up to connect, share ideas, and seek mentorship. One of the standout features of the hub was the Pitch Lab, a virtual space where users could submit their business ideas and receive constructive feedback from mentors and peers. This initiative created a vibrant environment for growth and learning, where entrepreneurs could refine their pitches and prepare for real-world opportunities. As the platform gained traction, Daniel and Mark decided to host an annual virtual summit, bringing together entrepreneurs from all corners of the world. The summit would feature keynote speakers, panel discussions, and workshops, allowing participants to engage in meaningful conversations and share their experiences. The first summit was a resounding success, drawing participants from over 30 countries. Daniel and Mark worked tirelessly to ensure a diverse lineup of speakers, including successful entrepreneurs, investors, and thought leaders who could inspire the next generation. During the event, attendees had the chance to participate in breakout sessions where they could dive deeper into specific topics, such as marketing strategies, product development, and funding opportunities. The energy was infectious, and participants were eager to network and collaborate. In one breakout session, a young woman named Sofia from Brazil shared her journey of developing a sustainable fashion line aimed at reducing waste in the industry. Her passion resonated with others, sparking lively discussions about sustainability and innovation. After the session, several attendees approached Sofia, eager to collaborate on future projects. Daniel and Mark watched with satisfaction, knowing they had created a platform that fostered genuine connections and encouraged creative thinking. As the summit wrapped up, they introduced a new initiative called Global Impact Grants. This program would provide funding to the most promising ideas presented during the summit, empowering participants to turn their visions into reality. The announcement was met with enthusiasm, and applications flooded in. Daniel and Mark were thrilled to see such a diverse range of projects aimed at addressing various social and environmental challenges. They organized a panel of judges to review the applications and select the recipients, ensuring that the process was transparent and fair. Months later, the winners were announced during a celebratory event. Each recipient was given the opportunity to present their projects to an audience of supporters and potential investors. The excitement in the room was palpable as each winner shared their vision and the impact their projects would have on their communities. One standout project came from a group of students in India who had developed a low-cost water filtration system for rural areas facing water scarcity. Their presentation moved the audience, and Daniel and Mark felt a sense of pride knowing they were helping facilitate such important work. As the Impact Grants program grew, they received countless success stories from the recipients. Entrepreneurs who had once struggled to find funding now had the resources to scale their projects and create positive change in their communities. Recognizing the power of storytelling, Daniel and Mark decided to document these journeys, producing a series of videos showcasing the entrepreneurs and their work. They shared these stories on their platform, inspiring others and highlighting the ripple effect of their initiatives. Meanwhile, Lila continued to thrive, her educational software gaining traction in schools across various countries. She returned to the hub frequently, sharing her insights with newcomers and serving as a mentor for those in the program. Her journey inspired countless others, reinforcing the importance of giving back and uplifting others along the way. As they looked ahead, Daniel and Mark knew they wanted to explore even more avenues to support young entrepreneurs. They began discussions about establishing partnerships with corporations interested in corporate social responsibility, creating internship opportunities for their network of innovators. The response from businesses was overwhelmingly positive, with many eager to participate and contribute to the cause. Soon, they had secured partnerships with several companies willing to provide mentorship and internship placements for participants from the Global Innovators Hub. This collaboration opened new doors for aspiring entrepreneurs, allowing them to gain real-world experience and insights from seasoned professionals. Daniel and Mark organized networking events where young innovators could connect with representatives from these companies, fostering relationships that could lead to future opportunities. With each initiative they launched, Daniel and Mark remained committed to their core values of kindness, support, and community. They understood that the journey of entrepreneurship was often challenging, and having a network of allies could make all the difference. As they reflected on their journey during a quiet evening at one of their hubs, Mark spoke up. "Can you believe how far we've come? It's amazing to think about the lives we've touched and the connections we've fostered." Daniel smiled, feeling grateful for their shared vision. And it all started with a simple desire to help others. "I'm proud of what we've built together." As they gazed out at the bustling hub filled with young entrepreneurs brainstorming and collaborating, they knew their work was far from over. There were still countless dreams to support and futures to change. With renewed determination, they began planning for the next chapter. They envisioned expanding their global presence, hosting summits in different countries, and fostering a truly international network of young innovators. As they prepared for this new adventure, Daniel and Mark were filled with excitement. They understood that together, they could continue to create a legacy of empowerment, reminding everyone that kindness, community, and collaboration could change the world, one entrepreneur at a time. As Daniel and Mark laid the groundwork for their international expansion, they embarked on a journey that would take them to various countries, each with its unique culture and entrepreneurial landscape. They began by organizing a series of regional summits, aiming to identify local challenges and opportunities while connecting with aspiring entrepreneurs from different backgrounds. Their first stop was in Kenya, where they collaborated with local organizations to host a summit in Nairobi. The energy in the room was palpable as they welcomed a diverse group of young innovators, each eager to share their ideas and learn from one another. Daniel and Mark emphasized the importance of understanding the local context, encouraging participants to think creatively about how they could address the specific needs of their communities. During the summit, they facilitated workshops that focused on sustainable business practices, leveraging technology for social impact, and cultivating resilience in the face of adversity. The participants engaged in passionate discussions, sharing their experiences and insights. One young woman named Amina captured everyone's attention when she presented her eco-friendly packaging solution for local businesses. "I believe we can reduce waste while supporting our local economy," Amina said, her eyes shining with determination. "If we can unite our efforts, we can make a real difference." Her project resonated with many, sparking collaboration among participants eager to contribute ideas and resources. Daniel and Mark watched in awe as connections formed, realizing that their mission was taking root in ways they had only dreamed of. At the end of the summit, they announced the launch of a local impact grant, which would provide funding for the most promising projects that emerged from the event. The excitement in the room was electric as participants began brainstorming potential ideas to submit for consideration. After a successful summit in Kenya, they traveled to Brazil, where they hosted another regional event. This time, the focus was on social entrepreneurship and leveraging technology to solve pressing issues like poverty and access to education. They invited local leaders and experts to share their insights, creating a rich environment for learning and growth. At the end of the event, a young entrepreneur named Lucas shared his vision for a mobile app that could connect volunteers with local charities in need of support. "There are so many people willing to help, but they just need a way to connect," he said passionately. "My app could bridge that gap." Daniel and Mark were impressed by his initiative. They encouraged him to refine his idea and submit it for the local impact grant. The collaborative spirit was evident, with participants rallying around Lucas, offering suggestions and resources to help him develop his project. As their travels continued, Daniel and Mark found themselves in Vietnam, where they hosted a summit focused on innovative solutions in agriculture. The participants included farmers, tech enthusiasts, and young entrepreneurs eager to revolutionize the agricultural landscape in their country. During a breakout session, a young woman named Min presented her idea for a drone-based system to monitor crop health and optimize irrigation. Her passion for sustainable farming practices shone through, inspiring others to think about how technology could transform traditional methods. After the event, Daniel and Mark were overwhelmed by the positive feedback from participants who felt empowered to take their ideas to the next level. The local impact grants allowed them to support innovative projects across different regions, creating a ripple effect of change that spanned borders. With each summit, they witnessed the transformative power of collaboration. Participants not only gained valuable insights and resources but also formed lifelong friendships and partnerships. The Global Innovators Hub was becoming a true community of changemakers. Back at their headquarters, they began to compile stories and impact reports from the various summits. They shared these narratives through their online platform, highlighting the successes and challenges faced by young entrepreneurs around the world. The stories resonated with their audience, inspiring even more aspiring innovators to join their community. One evening, as they reviewed the stories, Mark turned to Daniel. "These narratives are powerful. They show the real impact of what we're doing. We should consider publishing a book that compiles these stories, something that could inspire others to take action." Daniel nodded, excited by the idea. "That could be a great way to reach an even wider audience. We can showcase the diverse experiences of young entrepreneurs and how they overcame obstacles to pursue their dreams." Motivated by the idea, they began the process of gathering stories, interviewing participants, and compiling insights from their summits. They wanted to create a book that not only inspired readers but also served as a practical guide for aspiring entrepreneurs. As they worked on the book, they organized a series of webinars featuring some of the entrepreneurs whose stories would be included. The webinars provided a platform for these innovators to share their journeys, offering practical advice and lessons learned along the way. The response was incredible, with thousands tuning in to hear the inspiring stories. Participants engaged with the speakers, asking questions and seeking guidance on their own entrepreneurial journeys. It was a testament to the strong community they had built. Once the book was completed, they held a virtual launch event, inviting everyone from their global network. The excitement was palpable as Daniel and Mark presented the book, titled Voices of Innovation: Stories of Change from Young Entrepreneurs. During the event, they highlighted several stories and shared insights from the entrepreneurs featured in the book. The audience erupted in applause, and the energy in the virtual room was infectious. As they celebrated the launch, Daniel and Mark reflected on how far they had come. Their mission had evolved from supporting a handful of young entrepreneurs to creating a global movement that empowered countless individuals to pursue their dreams. With the success of the book, they decided to expand their reach even further by launching a podcast series. In each episode, they would interview young entrepreneurs, industry experts, and thought leaders, providing listeners with a behind-the-scenes look at the challenges and triumphs of entrepreneurship. The podcast quickly gained popularity, attracting a diverse audience eager to learn from the stories of real-life changemakers. Daniel and Mark found themselves immersed in meaningful conversations, uncovering insights that resonated with aspiring entrepreneurs around the world. Through their podcasts and webinars, they fostered a culture of sharing and collaboration, encouraging listeners to engage with one another and support each other's journeys. Their community continued to grow, with more people joining the Global Innovators Hub, eager to learn and contribute. As they looked to the future, Daniel and Mark felt an immense sense of purpose. They had created something special, a movement fueled by kindness, collaboration, and the belief that everyone has the potential to make a difference. One evening, while reflecting on their journey, Mark turned to Daniel. "Do you remember how we started this journey? It's incredible to see how our friendship has blossomed into something that touches so many lives." Daniel smiled warmly. "Absolutely. And I believe this is just the beginning. We have the opportunity to continue inspiring others and creating a legacy that extends far beyond ourselves." With renewed determination, they began brainstorming their next initiatives, eager to explore new ways to empower young entrepreneurs and expand their global network. They knew that together, they could continue to create positive change, reminding the world of the power of community, support, and the shared belief that through collaboration, anything is possible. As they embarked on this exciting new chapter, Daniel and Mark understood that their journey would never truly end. It would continue to evolve, fueled by the dreams and aspirations of countless young innovators who looked to them for guidance and inspiration. And so, with hearts full of hope and an unwavering commitment to making a difference, they stepped boldly into the future, ready to embrace the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. As Daniel and Mark delved deeper into their mission, they realized the importance of sustainability in their initiatives. They understood that empowering young entrepreneurs went hand in hand with creating a positive impact on the environment. Inspired by this realization, they decided to focus on integrating sustainable practices into their programs and encouraging participants to think about how their businesses could contribute to a healthier planet. They began by developing a series of workshops specifically dedicated to sustainable entrepreneurship. These sessions covered topics such as green business practices, eco-friendly product development, and the role of technology in promoting sustainability. They invited experts from various fields to lead discussions and share insights, ensuring that participants left with practical knowledge they could apply to their ventures. At the first Sustainable Entrepreneurship Workshop, a young man named Amir presented his concept for a startup that would produce biodegradable packaging materials. His innovative idea garnered enthusiastic feedback from the audience, and Daniel and Mark encouraged him to further refine his business plan. "You're onto something important," Daniel said. "Packaging waste is a significant issue, and your solution could make a real difference. Let's work together to connect you with the right resources." Amir beamed at the support, feeling empowered to pursue his vision with renewed determination. Throughout the workshop, participants engaged in brainstorming sessions, sharing their own ideas and finding ways to collaborate on projects that aligned with their sustainable goals. The response to the sustainable entrepreneurship workshops was overwhelmingly positive, and Daniel and Mark decided to expand the initiative into a dedicated program. They created a curriculum that combined practical skills with a focus on environmental responsibility, ensuring that young entrepreneurs understood the impact of their choices on the planet. As the program evolved, they partnered with organizations focused on sustainability to provide participants with additional resources and mentorship. Together, they developed challenges that encouraged participants to design innovative solutions for pressing environmental issues, such as climate change and waste reduction. During one of these challenges, teams of participants worked on projects aimed at promoting renewable energy solutions in their communities. One standout idea came from a group of young women who proposed a solar-powered irrigation system for farmers in their region. They believed that by harnessing renewable energy, they could help local farmers reduce costs and increase crop yields. Daniel and Mark were impressed by the group's passion and creativity. "This is an excellent example of how innovation can address real-world problems," Mark said. "Let's ensure you have the support and guidance needed to turn this idea into reality." With mentorship and resources from their network, the young women developed a prototype for their solar irrigation system, conducting tests and refining their design. Their journey became a source of inspiration for others in the program, reinforcing the idea that entrepreneurship could lead to positive change. As the Sustainable Entrepreneurship Program flourished, Daniel and Mark decided to showcase the impact of their participants through a series of video documentaries. They followed various entrepreneurs as they navigated challenges, celebrated successes, and implemented sustainable practices in their businesses. These documentaries provided a platform for the young innovators to share their stories with a broader audience, inspiring others to consider the importance of sustainability in their entrepreneurial endeavors. The first documentary focused on Amir's journey, highlighting how he transformed his biodegradable packaging concept into a viable business. It captured the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial process, showcasing his determination and the support he received from Daniel, Mark, and the community. When the documentary was released, it quickly went viral, generating significant interest in sustainable entrepreneurship. Viewers were captivated by Amir's story, and many reached out to Daniel and Mark, eager to learn more about their programs and how they could get involved. Encouraged by the response, they continued to produce more documentaries, featuring a diverse array of entrepreneurs tackling different sustainability challenges. Each story was unique, yet they all shared a common theme: the belief that innovation could drive positive change. With the growing interest in their initiatives, Daniel and Mark recognized the potential to expand their reach even further. They began exploring partnerships with corporations committed to sustainability, aiming to create internship opportunities and funding for participants in their programs. One day, while attending a sustainability conference, they met representatives from a large corporation that specialized in renewable energy solutions. The company was eager to engage with young entrepreneurs and support innovative projects that aligned with their mission. "We're looking for ways to connect with the next generation of innovators," one representative said. "Your programs align perfectly with our goals. We'd love to explore how we can collaborate to provide resources and mentorship." Daniel and Mark were thrilled by the opportunity. They discussed potential initiatives, such as joint workshops, funding for sustainable projects, and internships for participants interested in the renewable energy sector. As they forged this new partnership, they felt a renewed sense of purpose. They knew that by collaborating with like-minded organizations, they could amplify their impact and provide even more resources for young entrepreneurs striving to create a better world. As the year progressed, the momentum of their initiatives continued to build. Daniel and Mark organized a global summit on sustainable innovation, inviting participants from their network and experts in the field. The event aimed to highlight the importance of sustainability in entrepreneurship and foster collaboration among innovators from around the world. During the summit, attendees participated in panels, workshops, and networking sessions, exploring the latest trends and strategies for sustainable business practices. One of the highlights was a pitch competition where participants showcased their innovative solutions to pressing environmental challenges. The energy in the room was electric as entrepreneurs presented their projects, each vying for funding and support to bring their ideas to life. Daniel and Mark served as judges, excited to see the creativity and passion on display. When a young woman named Sarah pitched her idea for a mobile app that connected consumers with local farmers to promote sustainable food sourcing, Daniel and Mark were captivated. Her concept not only supported local agriculture but also encouraged healthier eating habits within communities. Your project has the potential to create a positive impact on both the environment and local economies, Mark said, impressed. We'd love to help you connect with resources to further develop this idea. The pitch competition concluded with several entrepreneurs receiving funding and support, fueling their dreams of creating sustainable businesses. As Daniel and Mark reflected on the summit, they felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing they were contributing to a larger movement toward sustainability and innovation. With each success story, they were reminded of the power of community and collaboration. The network they had built continued to flourish, with participants inspiring one another and finding strength in their shared experiences. As they moved forward, Daniel and Mark remained committed to their mission of empowering young entrepreneurs to create positive change. They understood that their journey was an ongoing one, filled with new challenges and opportunities to explore. With the foundation of sustainable entrepreneurship firmly established, they began envisioning a future where their initiatives could inspire an even broader audience. They discussed the idea of creating a traveling exhibition that showcased the stories and innovations of young entrepreneurs from around the world. This exhibition could bring attention to the importance of sustainability in entrepreneurship, Daniel suggested. We could highlight the impact of our participants and inspire others to take action. Mark nodded enthusiastically. It could also serve as a platform for networking and collaboration. We could invite potential investors and partners to connect with the entrepreneurs featured in the exhibition. With a clear vision in mind, they began planning the exhibition, securing venues, and collaborating with local organizations in various cities to ensure a successful launch. As they prepared, they reached out to the entrepreneurs whose stories would be featured, inviting them to participate in the exhibition and share their journeys. The exhibition opened to great acclaim, drawing attendees from diverse backgrounds. Each display showcased the innovative projects of young entrepreneurs, highlighting their impact on sustainability and the environment. Interactive elements encouraged visitors to engage with the stories, ask questions, and learn more about the initiatives. As the exhibition traveled from city to city, Daniel and Mark witnessed firsthand the power of storytelling to inspire action. People from all walks of life were moved by the entrepreneurs' journeys, and many expressed interest in getting involved, whether through volunteering, mentoring, or investing in projects. One evening, as they stood in front of a display featuring Amir's biodegradable packaging business, Mark turned to Daniel. This is what it's all about. Connecting people, sharing stories, and igniting a passion for change. Daniel smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. And it's just the beginning. There are countless more stories waiting to be told and lives waiting to be impacted. With renewed energy, they continue to expand their initiatives, embracing new partnerships and exploring innovative ways to support young entrepreneurs. They knew that together, they could create a lasting legacy of empowerment and positive change. As they looked to the future, Daniel and Mark were excited about the journey ahead. They understood that the world was full of challenges, but they believed that through collaboration, creativity, and the unwavering spirit of young innovators, they could tackle even the most daunting obstacles. And so, with hearts full of hope and determination, they stepped boldly into the future, ready to inspire the next generation of changemakers and prove that, indeed, anything is possible when people come together for a common purpose. As Daniel and Mark reflected on their journey, they felt a profound sense of gratitude for the path they had taken together. The Global Innovators Hub had become a vibrant community, one that thrived on the dreams and aspirations of young entrepreneurs from around the world. The exhibition continued to garner attention, and the stories of those they had supported reached even greater audiences. Each success story fueled their passion, reaffirming their belief that kindness and collaboration could lead to real, tangible change. In a final celebration of their achievements, they organized a grand event where all the entrepreneurs they had supported gathered to share their progress and future plans. The atmosphere was filled with excitement and hope as participants exchanged ideas, celebrated victories, and formed new partnerships. During the event, Daniel and Mark took the stage to address the crowd. We stand here today not just as individuals but as part of a larger family, a family that believes in the power of innovation, sustainability, and community. Each of you represents the future, and together, we can create a world where entrepreneurship drives positive change. Tears of joy and applause filled the room as the entrepreneurs felt seen and celebrated. In that moment, they understood that their journeys, though often challenging, were interwoven with a greater purpose. As the event concluded, Daniel and Mark looked around, witnessing the connections and collaborations that had formed. They realized their mission was evolving beyond what they had initially envisioned. It was no longer just about supporting individual entrepreneurs, it was about fostering a global movement that empowered countless others to rise and make a difference. With their hearts full, Daniel and Mark stepped off the stage, ready to embrace the next chapter of their journey. They knew challenges would come, but they felt confident that with the strength of their community and the power of shared dreams, they could navigate any obstacle. As the sun set on a beautiful evening filled with laughter and inspiration, they stood together, looking out over a room filled with innovators ready to change the world. They knew that this was just the beginning, and together, they would continue to champion the spirit of entrepreneurship, creating a lasting impact for generations to come.